Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey, man, it's great to be back in the Georgia Dome. Of course, in just a couple of weeks, there'll be a playoff game here for the national championship game. Of course, the Peach Bowl is a part of that, as I say the Peach Bowl, but the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl committee.
That's right.
As, of course, responsible for one of the playoff games, and we're looking forward to being here.
We're looking forward to being here. We already know that Alabama will be here, DJ, and just left field, but it's going to be interesting see how that college football playoff works out.
Absolutely. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk about, the championship weekend. I know that, Alabama didn't shock anybody, and, of course, there weren't a whole lot of upsets, but for the most part, who's going to be in that Final Four bracket?
I mean, it's going to be interesting, and we'll have a lot to talk about that on the show.
Also, we'll talk about the Heisman Trophy candidates. Of course, it looked like it was a runaway, but you know what? Over the past few weeks, it seemed to have been a little closure with regards to Lamar Jackson and the rest of the pack.
Well, we do know one thing, DJ. You got to be a dual-threat quarterback.
Absolutely. All that and more coming up next on Sports Visions.
It's time to save during the Nissan Year of the Truck and SUV event at Headquarter Nissan. Now, save $4,500 on new Rogue. Save $10,000 on all remaining 2016 Nissan Titan XDs. And get America's best truck warranty. Take on any job with Nissan trucks and SUVs from Headquarter Nissan.
Yes, Columbus is a Nissan town. Now it's going to be a Titan town. $10,000 off 2016 Titans.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. Dale, just 1 week ago, right here, Alabama put on a clinic in the SEC championship game.
They put on a clinic, DJ, really, after the first half of the first drive that Florida sustained and scored on, the defense took over. And you know what we always said, what they got over the whole year, 14 non-offensive touchdowns. And when they get a pick six, they block the punt for a touchdown. When they got it going like that, DJ, you're going to have some problems.
Absolutely. And again, Florida came in, and you know what? I thought we were going to be in for a barn burner. Right off the bat, Florida went right down the field, scored a touchdown, and Callaway was looking good real early. But I think that Callaway had some hamstring issues, and that's why you didn't see him featured on a lot of the punt returns and kickoff returns, because this guy, he was a game breaker. But, again, Alabama was too strong.
Too strong, DJ, but it made for a good competitive SEC championship game. The 25th anniversary of the SEC championship game, Alabama, Florida, that's who started this thing out. To end it that way, that was great, but I think one of the biggest things, and don't want to get this twisted, Alabama has a great defense, DJ, and they can take over the game. The secondary, I still think, is the best secondary in college football. Everybody wants to attack the secondary, DJ, but all they got is balls, man, on defense, and especially in the secondary.
Fitzpatrick is a household name throughout the country, as well as Allen. Of course, Allen is being, Jonathan Allen, that is being considered for the Walter Camp Trophy and the Impact Award. And this is one of the best players in college football. And you're talking about a defensive lineman. But, what's more important and what's so more impressive about what Alabama has done this year is that, they've had some injuries on defense. All they've done is just reloaded. Of course, they lost a big-time safety. And, of course, just shuffled a few guys around. And they still are productive.
They're still productive, DJ. Like I say, even the injuries in the secondary, DJ, they're able to relocate their guys. These guys are versatile guys. They can play corner. They can play safety. They put these guys in a dime package. They keep Reuben Foster on the field the whole game, and he just running around knocking people out. So at the same time, the defensive piece leads this team, and, there's no question about it. They have a good offense. Jalen Hurts has done a great job, DJ. They make plays. They do what they need to do on offense. They don't hurt themselves. They got a great special team. I don't know. We got to find out who the special team coach is, DJ, because he need a raise, man.
Big shout out to a couple of local players from the Chattahoochee Valley area. Of course, Reuben Foster, as you mentioned, but Rashad Evans, of course, is he's did a spectacular job. He was in on some big plays, and all in all, again, this Alabama football team still looks head and shoulders. And I know they have to play the game and have to go through the playoffs, but right now, just looking at everybody else and Alabama, it's no comparison.
Well, DJ, you really look at it like who's playing for second.
Yeah.
And you hate to say that. You don't want to be cocky, and none of the Alabama people would want to say say that, but at the same time, DJ, they played the best football. I think really is a point. I don't know who they'll be playing in the college football playoff, but whoever that number 4 piece is, if it was right now, it would be Washington. But, you know, who says they're going to stay in that position? But either way, I think they're in a good position, and really they made the Georgia Dome an extended home field advantage here, DJ.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, just to recap some of the other games, of course, Penn State, outstanding performance in the Big Ten championship game, beating Wisconsin, coming back from 21 points down. And what Coach Franklin has done at Penn State, I think, has been overlooked, and he's really the underdog in this whole thing, because we saw what he did at Vanderbilt.
Right.
And, of course, with the fiasco going up to Penn State, taking over under those circumstances, and having this ball club in the position it's in right now is just phenomenal.
It's great, DJ, and, you know, like you said, I mean, he's very underrated. He has not gotten the press that he needs to get. And we're talking about James Franklin. I mean, with the job that he did at Penn State, DJ, the ball that Penn State is playing, to come back from 21 down in the second half to beat a good Wisconsin team for the Big Ten championship, that's huge, DJ. And like you said, you know, he doesn't get enough credit for it, but I think James Franklin has done a great job. And I also think, if I had anything to do with it, I'll put Penn State in that number 4 spot.
I hear you. Hey, talking about while we were giving accolades out, Dabo Swinney, big shout out to him. And the Clemson Tigers did a phenomenal job, of course, even though that Virginia Tech made a late push in the championship game, trying to come back. But Clemson was able to hold on and might have an opportunity to compete for a national championship.
Again, DJ, you know, really to repeat, you know, it's hard to repeat, but at the same time, DJ, Dabo had his guys focused, and I think really the Deshaun Watson piece, he's still Deshaun Watson. All through the year, Clemson's been kind of up and down and kind of played down to the level of their opponents each game, but really they showed me in the championship game that they have another notch. They can turn this thing up, and they might get the opportunity to have another rematch with Alabama.
Any other championship games of note that worth mentioning?
Well, you know, DJ, you know, the ones that I think are worth mentioning is the Washington one. Washington beat Colorado like 40-17. But, you know, not to knock Washington, I just don't get it from the Pac-12. Maybe because we don't watch enough Pac-12 football, but at the same time, when you're like ranked like 127 on the difficulty of your schedule, I think that is big and play. And, you know, yeah, I will put Penn State in their spot at number 4, DJ, but really I get a lot of football. Penn State is playing some good football, and they are the Big Ten champion.
All right, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
When I decided to write a ton of world-famous music after I'd lost my hearing, people thought I was crazy. Just like the other day when I wanted chicken for breakfast. People thought I was crazy again. How'd everything play out? Let me tell you about it. I'll bet you $10 that you have heard the tune I'm singing now, because I went on to be the best composer of all time. Then I went down to Chick-fil-A and ordered their brand new egg white grill. The whole thing was 300 calories and seriously the best thing I've ever had. So to recap, I'm the best composer ever in the entire world. And Chick-fil-A's new egg white grill is really, 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 really good.
Chicken for breakfast. It's not as crazy as you'd think. Try the new egg white grill from Chick-fil-A.
Welcome back to Sports Visions, Dale. I tell you what, man, the Heisman Trophy is something that we've been thinking about and watching and following since we were little kids.
I mean, really, man, that is an iconic trophy. Anybody knows the pose, the trophy itself. Heisman Trophy is one of the number 1 awards that you can get in any length of sport, any sport.
And I have to share this with you. I had the privilege of going up in 1982 to New York City with our former teammate, Herschel Walker at the University of Georgia. Of course, Herschel had the opportunity to take his family and 2 teammates, myself and Chris McCarthy. And we went up to New York City, Dale, and I tell you, it was just a tremendous trip. Me being a Southern boy, never have been to New York before, going in and under the hostess of the Downtown Athletic Club and that committee, man, they set it out. We were up in New York City for about a week and a half, and you know what? Everything that you read, all the nostalgia, all the history, all the tradition, the legacy, I had the opportunity to see that firsthand, and there's nothing like it.
I mean, really, it's a big-time, great event. You know, a lot of events going on. They do a lot of work with the Heisman Trophy from a charitable standpoint. You know, to see all the past Heisman Trophy winners, it's got to be one of the biggest sights that you can have. And like you said, it's full week. But I think really this year is going to be an interesting choice, a different choice, and each year of the Heisman is getting bigger and bigger, and the Heisman Trophy winners are getting better and better.
You know, one thing about the Heisman Trophy race this year is that in the first 5 weeks, the first 6 weeks of the regular season, hands down, Lamar Jackson was double digits in front of the closest competitor. And over the past couple of weeks, Louisville hadn't fared so well, and Lamar Jackson didn't play some of his best football. But at the same time, I think personally he still had a big enough gap, and what he was able to accomplish, the numbers that he put up were just sensational.
I mean, he's got mind-boggling numbers, DJ, PlayStation-type numbers. This guy's been really out front since the first to the third game. He was already out front, far out front, DJ, and I think really all the things that he do, all the things that he brought to the table for Louisville, running, passing, combination of throwing touchdown, running touchdown, being the leading rusher on his team, passing for a zillion yards, but he's deserving.
We hadn't seen anybody with those type numbers since Cam Newton, and in fact, he improved on those numbers. But, you know, let's go back to a little bit more than a year ago. We were right here at the Georgia Dome, and we had the opportunity to see the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic between Auburn and Louisville.
That's right.
And there was a true freshman quarterback by the name of Lamar Jackson who actually had to come into the game. I don't know whether it was an injury or Coach Petrino just put him in. But that young man that day, Dale, did not know the playbook, but he rushed for 100 yards against a very good Auburn defense.
Well, he almost single-handedly brought Louisville back to beat Auburn, DJ, and that one thing stayed on our mind. I'm like, man, this kid is just a freshman, and to see him come back, and I think really he led the charge for Louisville this year, DJ, and made Louisville a top-ranked team until their loss against Clemson, and then they got upset, down the line with Houston. But at the same time, he brought some respectability to the Louisville program.
But, Lamar Jackson is no doubt our clear-cut first choice. But there's some other quarterbacks that have done tremendously, and there's, in fact, a common denominator. There's some dual-threat quarterbacks, and I'm talking the second choice, Deshaun Jackson, of course, from, is it Jackson?
It's Deshaun Watson.
Watson. I'm thinking about that other kid.
Yeah, like Lamar.
But, again, the bottom line is these dual-threat quarterbacks, and we saw last year in the national championship game what Deshaun Watson was able to do to a very stout Alabama defense. He came back this year, and the bar was set really high. Clemson is still winning, but his numbers weren't, I guess, as mind-boggling as you wanted them to be,
Right.
especially in the light, in the shadow of a Lamar Jackson. But Deshaun Watson is, to me, a clear-cut second choice.
I mean, really, he's a close second, and I'm going to say close second just because he was number 2 last year behind, Derrick Henry. But at the same time, DJ, to keep up your numbers from last year, and you're playing at Clemson, and really he has a bigger picture. He wants to win the national championship, to keep all those things in line. He's played very well this year, DJ. Not to take anything from what he did last year. He played very well. The team has won the ACC championship, and they're on track to have a rematch with Alabama. I think really that's just deserving in itself.
Well, we talked about these two quarterbacks, but now let's talk about a kid that was, this time last year, was in high school. And now he's the championship, or at least he's the starting quarterback of the SEC championship University of Alabama football team, Jalen Hurts, who's had a phenomenal season, broke the quarterback rushing record, and of course, tons of other quarterback records in his very first year.
I mean, really, DJ, last year this kid in high school, but Jalen Hurts, I like Jalen Hurts as a freshman. I think he has been a key component of Alabama's #1 ranking the whole year, DJ. I think really it's just like with Herschel Walker. When he was a freshman, I thought Herschel was supposed to get the Heisman because I think he was one of the most outstanding players in the country during that time as a freshman. And even as Jalen Hurts is, I think this lines him up, and I think he's planted enough seeds that if he continues his great career at Alabama, this thing will be, sooner or later, he'll win the Heisman.
Absolutely, and I know that this is our show and these are our picks. You might not agree with us out there, but again, those other prognosticators and those other analysts and those other broadcasters that pick their Heisman, hey, this is Sports Visions. These are our picks. Now, there's one other guy that really intrigues me, and he plays for Alabama as well, Jonathan Allen, an outstanding outstanding defensive lineman. And again, what he's been able to do to basically energize this Alabama defense, man. Again, he's doing things that we hadn't seen done since Ndamukong Suh.
Oh yeah, he's dominating the line of scrimmage from day one, DJ. He's been a good player, and I think really he'll definitely win the Outland Trophy, you know, the Walter Camp Awards and all these All-American awards. He's going to get a slew of those awards also. But to win the Heisman Trophy, to even be mentioned in the breadth of a Heisman Trophy, just tell you how dominating this guy is as being this whole year, DJ. But like in the same time, I like our picks. I like what we got, and really, you know, and this probably be another topic for another day, but the dual threat quarterback piece is big, man.
It is big, and obviously you can tell by, again, these choices. Look, obviously starting with Lamar Jackson, again, just Deshaun Watson. You know, I put it like this when I talk about to kind of give myself, I guess, a little backup. You know, Nick Saban, until he played in that national championship game last year against Clemson, and what Deshaun Watson was able to do to that Alabama defense, and pretty well should have beat them. But guess what Nick Saban did? He turned around and came back this year with Jalen Hurts, the dual threat quarterback, and he's right back where he wants to be.
He's right back where he wants to be, DJ, and really you could say, you know, and if we had an opportunity to talk to nigga, that's one of my questions. How do you, what kind of quarterback do you need to beat the Alabama team, or what quarterback do you need that can be successful in the SEC? And I guarantee you, he will paint a description of Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson, or Lamar Jackson.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Dedicado al chofer designado, sigue reinando.
Why do we have Aflac?
Aflac.
And Major Medical?
Major Medical boy, yeah! I help pay the doctor. Ain't that enough for you?
There are things Major Medical doesn't do.
Aflac.
Pays cash so we don't have to fret.
Something families should get.
Like a safety net.
Even helps pay deductibles to cover your back with.
Learn about one-day pay at aflac.com/wrap.
And welcome back to Sports Vision. It's now time for our Atlanta Falcons report. And Dale, 13 weeks into the season, and you know what? The Falcons seem to have had a commanding lead. Somehow, some way, it has shrunk down to them and the Buccaneers right now.
Well, really, man, it's almost scary, DJ. They're 7-5 right now. They're still the top of the NFC South, but at the same time, got an identical record as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They do have the wild card over them, but at the same time, if they were playing today, they would play. They wouldn't have a bye. Tampa Bay will be playing, you know, as a wild card. So, I mean, really, man, those games that they got away, the Chargers game, the Tampa Bay first game, and then the Chiefs game this past weekend, those games are big games, DJ.
They are big games, and, you know, we talked about having that bye and getting everybody rested up and healthy, but, you know, unfortunately, the most dangerous threat that we have right now is nursing a toe injury, and I'm talking about Julio Jones. And, you know, Julio has had some foot problems, you know, several years here in his short, brief time here in Atlanta. Turf toe is no joke. I know I've had several bouts with it, and again, an explosive player like him who pushes off and cuts and stops and start, you know what? I've seen some careers end with turf toe problems.
You know, he's had turf toe problems. If it's not turf toe problems, he's just ankle. He just get nicked up and beat up, and I think that's an accumulation of nicks, getting nicked all the time. But at the same time, I think really they have a good receiver core and they have to do what they have to do. But offensively, the Falcons got to do a better job of scoring. They can go from 20 to 20, and we talked about this at the beginning of the beginning of the year. They got to be able to score sixes instead of threes, DJ. And really what I saw in the Kansas City Chiefs game was that they didn't do that. They got down in the red zone. They're able to move the ball, but they're not able to score. And that is a big thing, and really that will hinder you every time from making some getting a win or even getting bigger or getting an open date in the playoffs.
Well, one thing is for sure, we saw it against in the Alabama-Florida SEC championship game, of course, you know, with the pick sixes and, of course, scoring 14 points, you know, defensive touchdowns. Now, again, Eric Berry, the superstar that he is, again, and coming home, man, what a setting. Even though, you know, we were for the home team, you got to feel a certain type of way for Eric Berry, the former standout from Tennessee, who is a native of Atlanta, Georgia, went to Creekside High School. His interception, his pick 6, and of course then his pick 2 on the extra point, 9 points, or actually 8 points
right.
by him alone is, it's hard to defense. It's hard to play against something like that.
Again, that's the difference of the game, DJ. Special teams again making big plays, a pick 6. Thin, but the extra point return, that is big, DJ. And really, when you don't score, when your offense doesn't even have to be on the field to score, that's always going to weigh in. And really, that's always an omen that team is going to win if their offense doesn't even have to be on the field to score.
How ironic is it that it seems like our Falcons are starting to simmer down, and it looks like those boys down in Tampa are starting to pick it up. Jameis Winston, man, again, you know what? We saw him early in the season, and I thought then that he was going to have a special year. They fell by the wayside, but in the last few weeks, man, these guys have been playing, and they've been special.
They've been special, DJ. I think they're like 4 games in a row they won, and really Jameis Winston has got the poise, and they've been playing just as good. Their defense have turned up tremendously. Really, I am kind of scared, DJ. They got to win. The Falcons got to beat the 49ers and the Rams this week against the Rams, but they got to definitely beat 49ers. And really, they actually need to win out, DJ, because the Carolina Panthers, they're going to play a spoiler role. And then your New Year's Day game against the Saints, it's going to be, Tampa Bay continues to win, DJ. That thing might be flipped. Tampa Bay might win the division, and Atlanta might be playing the wild card.
No doubt, but in other excellent play, the Dallas Cowboys, 11 straight wins, 11-1 here at Week 13, man. Again, these 2 young players that are already getting consideration from their peers as Pro Bowlers. I know that a lot of that voting and a lot of that stuff is starting to happen a little bit now. And Dak Prescott, as well as the big running back from Ohio State, and his name slips me right now.
Elliott.
Elliott. But, man, I tell you, those guys, they're just tearing it up.
They're tearing it up, DJ, 11-1. If they started the playoff today, they'll have a bye the whole week. They wouldn't even play. They got the best record in the NFL, and that's behind, the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots. They have the best record. Dak Prescott has been probably the breakout player of the year at this point, Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys are balling, man, and really even against the Vikings, they can win on the road. They can win with defense. The defense have played and come along, DJ, but one of the biggest things about their offense, time of possession. If you got your offense on the field all the time, you don't have to worry about too much defense.
Big shout-outs go to former Georgia Bulldog Matt Stafford, of course, the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, man. The Detroit Lions are playing, and they are definitely leading their division. And again, no Calvin Johnson. So what that means, you spread the ball out, and you don't go, you don't go for the long ball as much.
That's right, DJ. And really, again, if the playoffs started today, the Lions would be playing the Buccaneers, DJ. They have won the last 4 games in a row, playing upgrade, very good football. They would be the division winner in the NFC North division. So the Detroit Lions are balling, man. Quickly
on the AFC side, we know, and we talked about this last week, the Raiders have been balling. And of course, the kid Carr, who was at a quarterback, man, he's done things that nobody would thought he'd do. Again, you expect for him more so than Dak, but even at the level that Carr's doing it's still surprising.
It's still surprising, DJ, but really the Oakland Raiders are playing good all-around football. Their offense, they got great offensive weapons with Amari Cooper. You got Crabtree and the Murray kid. He's a big downhill running back too, DJ, but they have a good offense, one of the number 1 offenses in the NFL. But one of the biggest things about them, DJ, they got an offensive line that is they can roll 4 and 5 guys in and out. They're well rested, but the Oakland Raiders are back, man.
We know that the beast in the AFC is the New England Patriots. However, Gronkowski has gone down, and he's done for the year, back surgery. I know when you take up a guy like that out of your offense, man, that has to give you a little punch in the gut.
Well, it kind of messes up things offensively, DJ. But we talking about Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They play with the players that they can play with. They have a great system. One of the biggest things I've always liked about the New England Patriots, they go out and recruit guys that fit their system. So if Gronk is out, they still got Bennett as a tight end. They can split you out, DJ. They can bunch you up, and Tom Brady is not going to do anything to make the Patriots lose. He is a great ball manager.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our Crown Royal picks of the week.
All right, our Crown Royal picks of the week. We got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Raymond James Stadium to play the Buccaneers. We got the San Diego Chargers going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Cincinnati Bengals will travel to Cleveland to play the Browns. The Seattle Seahawks will travel to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. The Dallas Cowboys will travel to New York to play the Giants. Washington Redskins against the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't forget to email Dale Williams at Sports Vision USA with your picks of the week.
Hey, Steve, check out this guy's leg.
Yeah, looks like a real nasty moving back in with his parents.
What? No, I just broke my leg.
No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're gonna be out of work. Without that money from Aflac, you might miss your rent.
Oh, I just moved out.
Bummer, man. Hey, I used to have my own place.
Yeah?
Nah, I live with my mom. But it's cool.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with
Aflac!
Welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Visions in Dale. I tell you what, an outstanding weekend in Atlanta, the SEC Championship game and the Falcon game, all in one weekend. That's definitely the bundle we enjoy.
That's a bundle. That's the On the Road with Sports Vision piece, DJ, and had a great weekend. Kind of, sort of bittersweet, the Falcons losing, but again, Alabama doing what they do at the SEC champion.
Congratulations to Coach Nick Saban and his Crimson Tide, man. They put on a performance, and again, we just want to know, is it anybody good enough for Alabama?
Well, really, we're going to find out here in a minute, DJ. The college football playoffs, they're going up against Washington. We'll see. Everybody thinks they have a remedy for Alabama to beat them. I don't see it, and especially if you're talking about throwing against them, DJ. With the secondary that they got, I still think they got the best secondary in the college football.
We don't have any pictures for you, and we'll do that next week, but I want to thank all of our sponsors that made our 9th annual Columbus Valley Area High School Football Awards luncheon a success. Dale, I tell you, man, I just felt so proud to look out into that audience, to look at those kids, those coaches, those sponsors, and Coach Smart was there. Just a great day.
A great day, DJ, and really, it's good to be well prepared for a lot of things, that we do, but at the same time, every time you can get a smile on these kids' face and continue to follow our mission statement of helping promote these kids and showing them that we do care and somebody does care in the community, and really, hats off to our sponsors who continue to help us support this venue, this event. It's been big, man.
Absolutely. Just a great week, man, and looking forward to coming downhill. This bowl season, folks, so, we know that the Georgia Bulldogs will be playing in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. We know that Auburn will be playing in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. You know where Tech's playing?
Don't know where Tech's
Don't know where Tech's going, but we do know that Alabama is going to be playing in the playoffs. They're going to be going up against Washington, and they're going to be playing that game actually in Arizona, right?
That's right. What we'll do, we'll have a whole schedule of all our SEC teams, where they'll be playing, where their bowl assignments are next week, DJ, so we can be a little bit more cooler with that.
Wonderful. Hey, that's going to do it for all the time we have for today's show. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.